What's up, everybody? My name is Gilbert Schursch. I'm a high school strength and conditioning coach, and I'm a PE teacher in Harlem. And today, we're going to be talking about 2 eating basics for building muscle, which I believe are the most essential, and we're going to talk about how to create your own meal plan. Let's start with this one. Rule number 1, eat enough protein. If you don't know, your skin's made of protein, your hair's made of protein, your bones are made of protein, your organs are made of protein, and of course, your musculature is made up of proteins. So if you intend on adding to your musculature, aka building some muscle, you need to make sure you are supplying an adequate amount of protein that your body can use to add to its frame. How much protein? There are studies that go all the way from 0.8 grams to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight a day. But I found the sweet spot is at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight a day. That seems to be a safe place. I've gone higher and I've gone lower. In my own estimation, I've always felt better with at least 1 gram, if not higher. However, people have made it work with a little bit less, but the point is they are eating at least or around this amount of protein. You gotta eat proteins in order to build muscle. And the second thing you need to know about proteins here is that they need to come from animals. We have discussed on this channel before why animal protein is superior to plant proteins, but just remember, and here's a quick review, animal proteins represent complete amino acid profiles of full proteins, meaning a protein from an animal is going to give you the perfect profile of amino acids, whereas vegetables are hit or miss on those amino acids. Chicken, steak, pork, eggs, dairy, fish, if it had a mother or a soul, you want to eat it. That's the protein that's going to fuel great muscle building potential. Rule number 2, you must hold a calorie surplus. What does that mean? It means you got to eat more than you burn. That's as simple as it gets. Now remember, if we're in the process of building muscle, you are doing some hard training sessions each and every day, which means you're burning more calories than the average human just walking around doing nothing, which means you're going to have to eat, and you're going to have to eat a lot. As soon as you check off your protein amount and you've gotten at least 1 gram per pound of body weight a day, you need to fill out the rest of the calories that you need through the day through carbohydrates and fats. There's a couple things that you need to know about the calorie surplus as well. When you start checking out the caloric amounts for certain foods, you'll notice that fruits and veggies have very small amounts of calories. A lot of people get really, really full when they're trying to gain weight, so they start skimping out on veggies and fruits. Should you? My guess is probably not. Even though these bad boys are fairly low calorie, they help cover your micronutrient needs. And when you're hitting your micronutrients, your metabolism works better, you feel better, you sleep better, and all of those things add up to a better appetite, which helps you consume more calories, which is a really, really important thing. But also, on the flip side, if we're going to talk about quote unquote healthy foods, cookies, pizza, whatever you want to define it as, you can eat those things and successfully use them to help you hold a caloric surplus, provided you're getting enough protein, provided you're covering your micronutrients through fruits and veggies, and provided that you are training hard and sleeping hard. If you do all of those things, then you may want to mess around with high-cal foods with low amounts of micronutrient density in order to help you cover a caloric surplus. Because again, when you're trying to hold a caloric surplus and trying to train as hard as you can, it's actually quite difficult to stimulate your appetite to the point where you are eating more than you are actually burning. So let's talk about how to make a meal plan and how to make this caloric surplus. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step basis on how to do that. Let's get to work. So step 1 is you need to figure out how many calories you burn in any given day, especially when you're training. Because again, we need to consume more calories than we are burning. This is the opposite of weight loss. So what I want you to do is go into the description underneath the YouTube video, and you'll see in the description there is a link to this place for a BMR calculator. I want you to click it, and you should see this screen right here. Right? It says calculator.net. There's a BMR calculator, and the first thing you're going to do is put in your age. So the first thing you'll see is it's auto-filled to 25. I'll do this for myself. I am 29. My gender is male. I am 5 foot and 11 inches. It didn't quite make it to 6 feet. So sad, so sad. And I'm 180 pounds. Once I have all that filled in, I hit calculate, and boom, right next to it, you'll see this thing called result right here. And it says my BMR equals 1,804 calories a day. Now, the next thing you want to do is take a look at this little activity level sheet. And they've done a nice job of actually doing the calculation for you here, which is great. And you need to be a little bit honest with yourself. If you are exercising 1 to 3 times a week, this is about the amount of calories that you're burning. If you're doing little to no exercise, that's right above that. That's about the amount of calories that I'm burning. But for myself, I know I do intense exercise. I know I'm on my feet all day. I know I'm working hard on a consistent basis. So the amount of calories roughly that I'm burning on a daily basis is 3,111 calories based off of this calculator. So about 3,100 calories. Now remember, this is the amount I'm burning on a daily basis. So if I'm looking to build muscle and add size to my frame, I need to eat more than this amount. So what I'm going to do now is just take that 3,100 number, and I'm going to add anywhere from 300 to 500 calories to it. If you want to add 300 calories, that's a little bit less aggressive on the size gain and may lead to more muscle as opposed to fat. But if you want to go all in and you're saying, I'm going on the gains train, add 500 calories to that number. That's the amount you need to consume in order to really start putting on muscle while you are training. So for me, I would take 3,100, I would add 300 calories to it, and what I would need to consume is 3,400 calories a day. That's the amount that I need to eat in order to make this happen. Now, how do we do this? How do we calculate it, right? Once we have our number, how do we meet that requirement? Because again, our job is to get into this caloric surplus. We of course have the good old Googles, and with the Googles, we also have our goals, right? So for me, I'm the example here. My goal is 3,400 calories a day in order to gain weight, and at least 180 grams of protein has to be wedged into that diet as well. Because again, I need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight at least. Now, with the Google, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use Google to determine how many calories is the food that we are consuming and how many protein they have. So, for example, let's say I wanted to have breakfast. And for breakfast, I'm feeling 8 eggs. And I want to know what are the calories in 8 eggs. So in fact, instead of writing just 8 eggs, I'll write 8 eggs nutrition. And Google is great for a lot of this stuff. I look to my right, and here is everything I need to know. So 8 eggs is 624 calories, so I'll just write this down so I can keep track of it. 8 eggs, I've got 624 calories, and it's got 48 grams of protein. Sweet. All right. So that's one step. And let's say I want to have a cup of oatmeal as well, right? Let's make it 2 cups. 2 cups of oatmeal nutrition facts. So again, I've got it right to the right. It's not always there, but a lot of time that's where it is. And I can take a look at that. Oh, it says 1 cup cooked. So we'll just double these numbers. So 2 cups oatmeal cooked. And I've got 158 calories for 1 cup, so that means it's going to be 316 calories total. And, well, we don't count the protein for any sort of vegetable thing. So 316 calories. I add these two together, right? 624 plus 316, and it is 940. So I've got a 940 calorie meal just from breakfast, from 8 eggs and 2 cups of oatmeal. What I would do then is slowly build out the rest of this meal plan. Lunch, I'd figure out what I would be having for lunch. Maybe I'd have some top round steak and some rice. For dinner, maybe I'd have some chicken breast along with some potatoes. And all I do is figure out how much of those foods I need through Google, right? It's all the information is there. And this way you have the ability to create your own meal plan. So if one day, let's just say that you're getting tired of rice, chicken, beef, pork, fish, potatoes, and fruits and vegetables, and you want to stray away a little bit, you can take something out of the diet and plug in, let's say, a slice of pizza. Now we know a slice of Domino's pizza is around 300 calories. So maybe you take out 300 calories of rice and plug in 1 slice of pizza. These are the ways you can mix and match and create your meal plan while also still reaching your goal of a calorie surplus. Now, keep in mind, you need to keep most of these meals healthy. As soon as you start straying from the path of, oh, well, if I just have a pizza a day, I'll hit my calorie surplus, no problem. That will lead to more fat gain than it will to muscle. So always be cognizant of what foods you're plugging into the meal plan. Try and make sure they are high quality, and I'm sure one day I'll make a video on what those high quality foods should and shouldn't be. To conclude, here's a quick wrap up of everything we just talked about. You gotta eat enough protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight. You gotta eat in a calorie surplus. Use that calculator that we just saw on the computer screen to calculate how much that is, and then add 300 to 500 calories to that number. Use Google to figure out the caloric amounts of food and how much protein is in the food that you are eating. Final asterisk, you will need to invest in some measuring cups and a food scale if you are going to do this correctly. Get used to measuring your food so you can actually get to a caloric surplus. I know a lot of people like to dive into eating a whole ton of food to try and put on muscle, and all they do is eat a lot. Trust me when I say you gotta measure your food and have an idea of how much it actually takes to get to the point where you're holding a consistent caloric surplus on a daily basis. And it's not just based on crap like pizza, burgers, and French fries. And if you made it to the end of the video, drop a like, drop a subscribe. If you comment in the comment section, I guarantee I will respond to it. Till next time, I will see you then.